Welcome to Chump Change, everybody, the post show where we talk about the truth hidden behind the lies. I'm your host, Jeremy Dooley, and we're once again joined by the cast of Jeff, Sarah, Jessica, and Ryan. Welcome back, everybody. And yes, it was we were talking about a lot of stuff between the shows there, pertaining to how well the Deceivers did. Jeff said annoyingly Sarah did very well. And that
I'm not happy about it.
Could have gone 3 for 3. Could have done it.
It's gonna keep him awake at night. But the thing is, the other thing Sarah was talking about during the credits is that we actually had a photo from the high school dilemma prompt, the voted most likely to write a bestseller. I don't know if we still have that picture, if we could show it right now. I didn't realize we had a photo. So I was like, I gave you a photo of all this. Nick, do we have it? There it is.
Aww.
There's the evidence.
So cute, Sarah.
Thanks. That's why my natural hair color is wild. Haven't seen that in like 8 years.
Wild.
What were you reading there?
We're used to the red.
Maximum Ride by James Patterson, which used to be my favorite book, but now you know, good concept, bad execution. Sorry.
It was one of those episodes, yeah, where everyone in the envelope game ended up telling a lie. They don't happen very often, but the thing that really caught Jeff on this one is he was making assumptions just based off of the fact, which worked out for Jessica with the exorcism one. But then he went for the drug deal with Ryan and then the Westminster Abbey with Sarah, and those ended up being switched. So we're going to jump into those and get to the actual facts behind those. But let's start with Jessica because, you know, Jeff had a good feeling going into it. But Jessica, what was the story? Why were you asked to take part in an exorcism? Where did it happen? What was the situation?
Yeah. So Jeff knows from our Haunter past that, like, I don't mess with that stuff. Everyone knows I was raised Catholic. I hate that stuff. My mom wanted to go see a palm reader. She's had some deaths in the family over the past couple of years, and so she's just searching for answers right now. And I was like, I'll go with you to palm reader. That seems like relatively not as insane as other things. And so each time somebody went in, it took about like 30 minutes. So I was outside on the porch waiting for my mom to get her reading, and two of the people that work at this place came outside and started making conversation with me, and we were talking about what they do for a living in their past and how they have done exorcisms before. And of course, me being curious kitty, I'm over here asking a million questions about it, even though I hate this shit. And so she ended up asking me, she's like, well, we're doing one next week if you want to come. I was like, no, I don't want to come, but thank you for the invite. I will never participate in something like that ever, but I hope you guys have fun and I hope it works out. So that was the gist of it.
So do they just like get bodies in for exorcisms? Is that a thing? They're just like, we need people, we need warm bodies.
More the merrier.
I you just needed like the priest. Do you need?
I don't know. Yeah, sure. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Like
sure.
a movie
I don't know.
I want to watch.
If you can sell tickets, why not?
Yeah.
Where's that live stream?
We never did exorcisms, right, Jeff? That's never a thing that we tried to do in Haunted.
I thought that was
to summon them, not get rid of them.
We did a piss poor summoning. That didn't work well. We never got around to exorcisms. Yeah, maybe a third season we could have got there, but wasn't.
I feel like that summoning circle didn't make it in, and midway through you farted, and it was the funniest thing. Cause it could not have been a quieter situation as the summoning circle's going on. Jeff just.
Well, listen, you got to try a lot of different things. It's a bit of you throw everything at the wall and see what sticks. It was a tactic.
Yeah.
It was a sticky one.
You know what?
Yeah.
Oh. But oh, man, I want to save Ryan because I got a little tidbit about his fact before we started, and I want to get into that. Sarah, you were the one who was mistaken as being part of a drug deal. So how did that go down? And the question that Jeff asked during it, how did you get out of it? How was it all resolved?
So here's the thing. We never...
Yeah.
So, you know, like, if you were a theater kid, you'll get this. But theater kids always, like, group together. And so it was, like, after hours, after a theater party, we all ended up in this park across the street from a friend's house. So we're all there, and it's, like, midnight or 1 a.m. And all of a sudden, we see the cop car. We see the cops get out of the cop car. and we all just fucking book it. It's just like a bunch of like high schoolers playing like truth or dare. Like they're theater kids. We ain't doing shit. Like there was no drugs around. We were having fun, and we just booked it. We're like, cops, oh no. And then like as we're running, the kid who lived in the house that we're across, he goes, oh yeah, drug deals happen in this park all the time, so cops get called a lot. I was like, why the fuck are we hanging out here then? I was like, I thought this was a safe place. It's behind an elementary school. And so we just like booked it from the cops for like 30 minutes, and they didn't catch us. And then I called my mom, and she picked us up, and it was great. You know, it's chill.
Booked it from the cops for 30 minutes. But you know what? You said you called your mom after that, and I said at the beginning of the show, on the actual episode, that we were going to bring up another point from the whole Challenger story. While we're still talking to you, Sarah.
Yes.
You didn't find this fact out until you're in your 20s.
Yes.
How did you find out this fact? How did this come up?
So my mother, she had quit serious work because of me. I was like, I'm the 3 of 5 children, so she decided to be a stay-at-home mom. But then when we all were like in no, I started calling the nanny mom. And so my mom quit her job and became a stay-at-home mom. And years later, we're all in high school or school or whatnot, so she gets just like a part-time job at a clothing store. And then she became a manager, and there was some problem with the inventory. And my mom is just bitching. She's like, this guy was yelling at me so much. You want to know what I want to do? I want to just turn at him and say, they didn't yell at me this much when they thought I blew up the Challenger. And I was like, okay, wait, can we fucking rewind real quick? First of all, when did you work on the Challenger? And what do you mean they thought you blew it up? She's like, yeah, the O-rings, I worked on them. And I was like, what? And I was like, how in my 20 years of life have we never come across this subject? And then I called my sisters. I was like, did you know this? And they're like, no, what are you talking about? So apparently my mom just didn't feel like it was pertinent information that she worked on a spaceship that blew up.
It was outburst information.
Yeah.
I could see if I were ever, and I don't think it's in the cards, but if I were ever to have more kids, I probably wouldn't tell them about Rooster Teeth.
That's wise. I think that's a great idea. Yeah.
Dad has a day job. We don't talk about it.
Like Google Jeff Ramsey one day. And then Jeff walking through Achievement Hunter with his shirt off as we all throw stuff at him. Ringing a bell.
That's a crazy story, Sarah.
Yeah, no, tell me about it. I was like,
it was wild.
Married. Like what?
That was a wild story that came up. I was like, we're going there this episode. That's where we're going.
I've been holding on to that, Jeff, and I was like, if I'm ever on Chump, I've got this in my back pocket. And I'm excited to
it worked. Now, the other thing that happened right before we started is Ryan, I was reading out the facts, and I read Ryan's fact, has a treasure map of Westminster Abbey, and Ryan goes, now I don't want to be disingenuous here, but Ryan, what in this order, what is the treasure and where did the map come from? Can you please tell us?
Well, I said, you know, the prompt just says I have a treasure map in Westminster Abbey, but it's a treasure map to a nickel that I drew because I hid the nickel, and so it's really, I thought that maybe that was misleading to Jeff, you know, but because it's not like a Nicolas Cage National Treasure map. I have, but and the real context of that is that I have nickels hidden all over this green planet of ours. Okay, I have nickels hidden everywhere.
Wait,
you probably walked past nickels I've hidden in your lifetime. I'm just saying that, and so that is just one of the nickels that I've hidden. And whenever I go back to the place, I go and find my nickels.
Oh my god!
All right. Well, first off, for real?
Yeah, for real. I have a lot of treasure maps. Huh?
How many nickels have you hidden?
I have a stack of treasure maps. That's all I know, and so that's it. I don't know the number.
What are some of your favorite places that a nickel is in? Like
in Austin, I have one. Well, I got one in Mount Bonnell and the Texas Chili Parlor right now, where y'all are. So that's my Austin nickels.
Wow. I eat there all the time, and there's a nickel.
Oh, well, you eat next to my nickels. You eat next to my nickels, Jeff.
I'm gonna eat next to your nickel next week. That's awesome.
Oh, cool. We should go there one day and find my nickel. It's always fun when you find your nickel.
Wait a
after
minute.
while.
Now that's
What's
a
blowing
fucking
me
video.
away is hearing this now. That your fact was you have a treasure map of Westminster Abbey and not you have nickels hidden all over the world. I didn't realize that's how deep this went.
Yeah, it's a whole nickel conspiracy. Yes, but I just figured I'd give a specific place where one nickel was. I don't know why I thought that'd be better, but you're right.
Where was the first nickel? Oh, sorry.
Where was the first
Where was the
nickel?
first nickel? Yeah, where did it start? Why did this start?
It started at school because I would hide a nickel and then I'd come and then I'd be like, guys, my nickel's still here from the last week. And then I just started extrapolating that to everywhere I went, because then it was really fun when you come back and find your nickel, especially on like a vacation. If you go, I have one on Statue of Liberty that I went back and found like 6 years later, and I was like, yes, the nickel is here.
This is the cutest thing ever.
You have more
Anyone can-
dedication to your nickel finding than anything I have in my life.
Well, anyone
Like-
can hide nickels. That's the thing. It's a
Yeah,
It's
but you go back
it's the
Anyone can
people's.
hide- there's
it's
the title of the episode.
people's treasure.
I feel like this is a Rooster Teeth travel show we need to make where we just
This is great.
find Ryan's
It's great.
nickels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
That was long. Yeah, travel with Ryan as he goes from place to place with a stack of treasure maps. But so many of the episodes might be like, and the nickel's gone. Oh well.
well, that has happened. That's happened. It sucks when the nickel's not there. They found it.
Do you really
Unfortunately,
tuck
there was
them
probably
away?
a
You must
10-year-old.
really hide 'em.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's 5 cents richer. Do you really hide these? Like you tuck them somewhere?
Yeah,
you don't
the
think
best is
people will
finding
find 'em?
like little cracks that you would never think, like just things, normal things get stuck under. Better, it's good to find cracks or just sides of buildings that people rarely go around. You can dig under it, but then if you dig, I don't know. There's lots of
Are these
techniques.
Are these treasure maps? I mean, because if you're hiding things in cracks like that, are these detailed treasure maps or is this some like chicken scratch stuff?
It's pretty much chicken scratch stuff, yes. I mean, but it's enough. It's detailed enough to where I know. You probably couldn't get there if you just saw it. If you saw the treasure map, you'd go, what the fuck? But it's really just notes enough for me to remember where I hid it. So really, that's actually, it's extra security. So it's like if anyone found my treasure maps
Absolutely.
and stole my treasure maps, they couldn't decode them.
Right. They have to
Right.
they have to win talk your code.
Yes.
I get
Precisely.
it. Yep.
So do you travel with extra nickels just in case? Because Jeremy, I don't know about you,
no.
but I haven't had a nickel in my pocket in like 10 years.
You go,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
go
I
get
don't
it.
have nickels on me.
You get change. You get change from your wherever the place you get a coffee or
who
something.
uses cash?
Okay.
Cash.
So it could,
Have some cash. Dollar bills.
but it's always U.S. currency. You're not hiding like pounds.
I have done that before, just because that's all I had. I'm like.
Gotcha.
But I rarely go international. That's honestly why I did the Westminster Abbey. To be honest, it was like kind of like that's like one of the places I've been outside of the U.S. that sounded cool to hide a nickel at. But it was funny because you guys reframed the question as I have a treasure map of Westminster Abbey, which sounds way more intense than what I said in my prompt in my email to you.
I'll be honest, the hidden nickels is pretty intense. I didn't know it went that far. It's just before the show you went, I hid a nickel and made a map. And I was like, well, this will be interesting. It really didn't go into detail. That was a lot to learn right there. But
Yeah.
that's an important thing to, you know what? Important things to remember. Anyone can hide a nickel, as Ryan said. But also, if you're around and you find a nickel, it could be one of
probably
Ryan's
mine.
nickels. You never know. Look in cracks in walls and,
I think that's an excellent point Jeremy brings up. If you ever at any point in your public life find a nickel in the wild, you should probably stop and take a picture of it and then tweet it to Ryan and ask if it's one of his nickels.
I'll have the serial
you
code,
hidden
the
a
serial number written down. Yeah.
Do you write down the
you're
serial
going to get a
number?
lot of nickel tweets.
Oh yeah, that's
Oh,
one of
really?
the ways. Yeah, that's any distinguishing marks, because you never know. It could be just a nickel. it's got to be
Someone
my
could have
nickel.
taken your nickel and put a
Yeah.
replacement like
Oh,
Indiana Jones.
Yeah, oh, it happens all the time.
Oh, great. Wow.
This is
Be
borderline
surprised at how much
insane,
happens.
but also like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
so much respect for you. Like shit.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's how
not
you
where
know
I was
you go,
expecting
hide a
this
nickel.
question to go.
Anywhere you go, hide
That's
a
how you
nickel.
know the
Oh yeah,
site's been compromised, Ryan. The serial number. There's another nickel there, but the serial numbers don't match, and you're like, they're on.
yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Who was going around? Sarah, real quick, my lie for the Challenger thing was actually from personal experience a little bit because my roommate, his mom was the actual backup to Barbara Morgan for the Challenger. So so I just took his life and basically used it as my lie. Anyway, little chump fact.
So Jessica's only
Some of-
Someone else's
lying wild.
No, some of
Well,
mine
yours
was
true.
based in truth. I was raised in Houston, and I actually worked at NASA for a time as a co-op program in high school. And I did really know these two people where their parents were on the
Oh wow!
in the air.
All right, we all
Yeah.
had a connection then.
Yeah,
As
it
we
was
said,
weird.
Everybody
you
has a
guys-
connection with space.
You guys have all been
Yeah.
personally touched by tragedy.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, it's as we said, some of the best lies on Chump, they have, little nuggets of truth
Little
in them.
bit of truth.
And that's what we like to jump into on this post show. But that is all we have time for on this post show, on this episode of Chump Change. So once again, I want to thank Jeff, Sarah, Jessica, and Ryan for such a great episode. I want to thank you watching for being a first member. We really do appreciate it. It helps us keep making shows like this. And we'll see you for another episode next week with a whole new cast of characters, new lies, new truths, and all that goodness. So once again, thank you, everybody, and have yourselves a good week. See you later.
Thanks for having us.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks.